live. You might be live. Live. Okay, the ornament got taken. Oh, and I added the bow tie. For those of you who watched the other video, and he didn't have his bow tie yet. I finally dug some things out of the bin that I probably won't even wear this week. See how it goes. Mary, I still didn't figure out where to hang this exactly and got lazy on some other things. What happened? I meant to do this video sooner and I kind of forgot all about it. And there was going to be a holiday Q&A at some point that never actually happened either. I mean, I guess this could have been it, but nobody watches my decor videos hardly ever. It said I get most of my views on Saturdays, so the one guy who watched the boot video or something earlier was the view that I think I got. So I might try and squeeze in another boot video before Thursday, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. It's still a few hours before autumn officially ends and winter officially begins, so I'm still wearing autumn sweater here. Rather than more festive attire. But this is a rebuttal to a couple of different videos, so more just for fun. Since I don't know, I like doing videos that nobody watches, I guess. So there was the one gal that I usually watch. I have a whole bunch of screenshots. And I've been using some of those for thumbnails, but I didn't know if I should post all of them or even half of it. Like there was this gingerbread house one that I almost used for this, but I thought this background was a little more colorful, a little more holiday grabby. So we'll see what I do if I bother to post any of those. Taking somebody else's screenshot for my thumbnail feels a little less guilty than just using their images. But most of these creators use catalog images and such anyway, so they're not generating all these rooms that they're showing in the first place. So I'm just cutting and pasting what they cut and paste. So I don't feel that guilty about, but I don't, since I go live like this now, I don't make videos in the edited format anymore because it's got to be too much of a headache with the editing program and things. So inserting those photos is no longer an option. So sometimes I put stuff in the community menu still that might not be just photos of my boots and things. So anyway, the one gal was talking about how she likes to go foraging out back. And of course I did forage a little bit for some of the pine cones. I didn't even bring in a bunch of them are still in the garage. That was all I could fit up there. So that was all I, bothered with. But she was saying she doesn't like to have a contrived looking holiday house anymore like she used to do. And I don't have a twig forest out in my backyard, but I still think some amount of contrivance pretty much comes with every holiday. That's kind of the point. Instead of just regular decor, it's, it's how you spin it. My itchy nose. I just took a shower, but didn't solve everything. So a part of her video went off on the amateur actors, and I didn't watch that part. In her porch arrangement, the dog steals the show here again a bit. I made joke 100 years ago, as I like to point out, was not the Victorian era. It was the Roaring 20s already. So the Victorian era was over by at least 10 years already. I'm not sure if the Roaring 20s is considered the Edwardian maybe in England, in America. I don't think we care much about the Edwardian era, although I like a lot of the fashion and such from that period better than the 20s and the 1800s or whatever. Because, we have old timey automobiles with horns that go and that kind of thing. Actual vanish, paraphrase a bit. Okay, I don't know what she was talking about there. Sprained my ankle on them pine cones. No thanks. Yeah, because she wants to spread them out on the porch for a casual decorative effect like this. If they just fell there, and I would just fall over that. I mean, putting them there, that's, It's a miracle I bothered to bring those in because they can be a mess. 20s was more about symmetry and Egypt, like the whole King Tut thing, right? Nativity scene could be done, I guess, in some different ways. I don't know how you'd make, well, there's an Egypt tie-in with the original nativity scene-ish, but that's not pyramids and such. It's kind of a loose affiliation that I was, or what, association. So then someone, someone, whatever, had said about the porch, loved this. The most contrived decor over the past few years to me is wrapping books in paper so you can't see the titles, and then even turning their spines to the wall. Now, whoever is a real reader would never do that. You would never be able to find a particular book. Nothing more contrived ever. And of course, I actually commented and got no reply that these books that they're turning the back to the wall to hide the spine are usually trade paperbacks. So the bindings can be all bold colors like pink and yellow and lime green and such, which can be eyesores more than erudite. I have tons of books, and I keep thinking I should maybe move most of them to the garage already because they're not sightly and they take up a ton of space, which I didn't include that part, but I usually show examples. I don't think I have any really great ones here. I mean, well. These are slightly less bad than, pink, but they're not exactly black with white lettering or something like the Hobbit over there. And then I have another one where the spine is purple, but the part right next to the spine is orange, so it really jumps out at me from this angle. The orange part, that is. But this, of course, is an office space, not a living room, so it's less essential if a couple of my books over there are not that pretty or thematically aligned or whatever. And there's some of this dictionary, bright red. Yeah. I could make that into a holiday decorative book, I suppose, because it's red and it's next to a green one. But anyway, you get the point. Whereas if you have true, pretty leather-bound books like old encyclopedias or even those Reader's Digest things that nobody reads, but the spines all kind of match, that's a slightly different effect and mood. I think I've explained this before. Okay. So then skipping ahead to the other woman, she did two videos of 10 settings or whatever. I'm not going to cover all of it, of tablescapes. So she was saying, there's different ways to do your tablescape, but they typically involve a centerpiece and like how you arrange the plates and whether or not you use candles or gingerbread houses or choo-choo trains or whatever. I just literally, my tablescape or is non-existent, but my table is merely a drop zone hellscape, but unlikely I'm hosting any soirees in this holiday ever. So I can kind of clean better once they stop sending me all these blasted catalogs in the mail every week, right? Because buy more. Kind of what we're not entirely fighting against on this channel. This isn't the buy stuff channel, but it's also not the never ever buy stuff channel. So we kind of a little bit of a juggling act. But if you wanted to do, new decor every year instead of just the same thing decade after decade, I suppose that's fun to mix it up a little bit more if you're actually entertaining or whatever, or to have a pretty big family that's just already in your humdrum routine home or whatever. She had mentioned the 90s go-to movie being Home Alone. This, not me, nope. My 90s go-to movie was The Ref, but also Christmas Vacation with them Griswolds and Cousin Eddie out at the curb. I keep meaning to decorate with a dead cat and 50,000 strings of lights on the roof. And crapper's full. Paraphrase there. So then in number 2, skipping a bunch of stuff, table 2 is they did some sugar. Was this the one? Maybe I'm out of order. Oh, I had gotten an argument with someone. This is out of order. Table 2 is Forgot the Candies Cane. Table 1 was Still Too Autumny for me. This was in the first video, not the second video. So why this is video number 2, I don't know. Video 1, table 2. Okay. Table 1 is Still Too Autumn for me, so I want to lean into them red and green elements for sure. Sorry, I'm like fixing as I go. Yule, Y-U-L-E, celebrate. You will, I was making a play on words with you will celebrate and ye will celebrate. Never mind. So let me skip down. Where is that other one? Or maybe I never got copied. Okay, I didn't. Let me see here. Where is this? I didn't make any copy here. Where is my, oh, here's my 3 replies. Okay, so some guy or gal came in to be all helpful and said, nah, finally a warm theme with no green. Why am I, oh, here we go. I would have just leaned more into the cranberry and orange. Besides, Thanksgiving is so American and not everything's about you guys, from Zella Lang or whatever. So I just replied, well, the English outlawed Christmas in Scotland in the 1700s or something, so likely you would not even be celebrating now if it wasn't for Yankee movies. But that pink sugar theme from video 2 is just pure diabetes. So accurate there. But you can't see it because, again, I didn't share that actual photo. And so that person wanted to be funny. And I thought of some other rebuttals that I didn't type up for that. But that was not the same table as the candy canes, right? So then in another gal's video, which I watched the first half, I can't recall, I guessed correctly the fabric that she chose for her reupholstery. I assume I skipped the quiz that she had sent in her community page. So the delineation is between flimsy, is that filmy, and not, oh, filming and not filming, and, oh, never mind. Okay. She's saying how she's trying not to decorate for just filming, but it was almost a clickbait title since her landlord lets him do whatever she wants with her old house anyway, unlike many even with newer properties, etc. Move the one lamp from the mantle. I have a book problem also, what we were just talking about, which is why I was including this, even though that was all just nonsense. Okay, they don't work as well as decorations when you just run out of good places to put them too. Solution is next year, start in January instead, when I just start getting rid of stuff or throwing them in the garage. Like I said, we'll see. Sigh, Charlie Brown noise. Okay. Shelf help, art wall, hard to see the little stuff up high, not quite a gallery wall. A sweater addiction is more healthy than a book addiction, maybe, arguably. Yay. The car can still be outside and treated terrible whilst the garage is full of stuff, though, because she was talking about not wanting to fill the garage or something with sweaters. Am I even talking about the same girl's video? I'm not positive. But the car can still be an expensive investment. Oh, this was about architecture. Frank Lloyd Wright and garages. being a thing that you don't put on modern houses or something, because there's too much danger for accumulation of items, which is true. Because, yeah, the point here that this is all out of order. Yeah, my garage is full of stuff that is not a car. Because I don't want that stuff to get ruined, and the paint on my car then gets subjected to damaging sunlight that the garage would protect it from if I didn't use the garage for storage. But Frank Lloyd Wright's solution would just be to have the car outside where it gets damaged, but not having any storage space for extra stuff either. So I don't see how that's a win-win. But I do, instead of throwing a bunch of books in the garage, kind of wish that I could put the car in the garage, kind of thing. Yeah. But car is still expensive investment that you might want to protect. Yes. Okay. So, okay, putting that aside, what I'm going to do with the books, I don't know. Hopefully I'll read some of them soon, but not right now. I'm doing this. So then the other gal's video, and totally different gal from some year previous repost. I think some display items can be seasonal, same as clothes. I think I've mentioned plenty in previous comments to be not redundant here overall, which of course doesn't help you guys. Although if you've watched any of my earlier videos, I've already done videos about holiday themed flannel shirts and sweaters and everything else. I don't know how many Harry Potter costumes you have, so I'm not sure if I should ask how many one might need. From some article, this one's for you DIY fans. So this was more about seasonal decorations that you can make yourself, I guess. And her verbiage. Jury rigged means something was assembled quickly with the materials on hand. Jerry built means it was cheaply or poorly built. Jerry rigged, this is from Wikipedia, I guess. Jerry rigged is a variant of jury rigged, and it may have been influenced by Jerry built. While some people consider it to be an incorrect version of jury rigged, it's widely used, especially in everyday speech. Okay, so how that relates, do with that what you will. So I think the former still superior to the latter, personally, jury rigged being the phrase I would use, which comes about the mid 1800s apparently. Yeah. Why the space room doesn't have bouncy castle floor. Sigh again. Okay, so none of that really was necessarily very helpful to you all in overall terms, because you didn't see those videos, and so those comments are just kind of disjointed. But that's okay, because nobody watches these things anyway, like I said. But the overall takeaway, being, I mean, if you're going to decorate in a holiday theme, you might, like I said, be looking for new inspiration. This was not really the new inspiration video, just kind of I already did those other two that were a little more on that theme. I do have quite a bunch of stuff here. I'm just scrolling that is all about boots, and I didn't do this boot video. Oh yeah, hello Bean, him. This kind of petered out though more than I thought it would. Well, I thought I had another comment or argument or something with somebody. Let me go back through here. That's about boots. Oh, the one gal, she won't produce, I might have mentioned this in the other video, she won't pronounce the T in tartan, so it's more like tartan. So I give her a little bit of crap about that. But we're not talking so much about tartans in this video. We're just babbling. What dinosaurs aren't hungry? Thesaurus joke. Har har. Yeah. Get some sandals and wear them indoors. Yep, that's my advice for that. Okay. Some guy wanted to argue with me in Latin and he lost because I kept going after he quit. Wrangler shirts, not Decor. Okay, so was that helpful at all? Don't know. It's only 20 minutes. I'm going to shut up now and maybe do a boot video. If you have any questions, I realize this was silly. And just, you know, whatever, just killing a little bit of time before the solstice officially begins or whatever. So yeah, if you have any holiday questions or decor questions that I might know an answer, might be able to help you out there, try whatever, or just questions about the channel or whatever, because you haven't watched any other videos. I'll try and guide you to the right playlist and that sort of thing. Put them in the comments, people.